Happy New Year from us right here at the Union Smack Podcast. Very good to be back with our very first episode of 2022. And what a way to kick it off, as we are now just not on YouTube. We have expanded, we branched out, we're a conglomerate. No, we're not that extreme with it, but we're on everywhere pretty much, essentially. Almost every streaming service available. You can now, and you are now listening to us here on the Union Smack Podcast. But once again, another year number 5, which is insane, will not be the Union Smack Podcast, but just myself. Alongside here with me, as always, the maniac, Matt Tennant. What's going on, man? Happy New Year to you. How you been? Where can everyone catch you? All that you do.
Happy to New Year to you, Travis, and to all our listeners and all our new listeners. Okay, so this is going to take a while. You can catch me, as always, on Twitter at Bruisermate. You can now catch our new Twitter account just at Union Smack. Go over, subscribe. We're going to have some good stuff coming up there. Reveals, early reveals, everything. You can catch us now. Here we go. Should have written all this down. YouTube, Podbean, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, Anchor, Spotify, and I don't think I've left anything else out. But if you're now listening to us on one device or on one site and you want to listen to us on another, just go to our Podbean site, unionsmack.podbean.com, and at the top of the page, doesn't matter whether you're on laptop, PC, or mobile device, all the little icons of where we're available are there. Just click on anyone you like, and it will take you straight to our page on that relevant site. Couldn't be easier, Travis.
Damn right, and I promise from now on we'll make it a lot easier with the promotions of our shows. We'll just say go to Podbean from now on and catch all our other links there. But it's so great, and I feel rejuvenated to start off the new year with this show, Matt. Just to be on Spotify and everywhere now that we've wanted to be for years and years and years. Finally, the shackles of YouTube. We are free, like the genie in Aladdin. We've done it. Thank you for setting that up, my friend. All the In Your Houses now, guys. Every single one that we've ever reviewed. We're up to 14 now over there on these sites. And of course, this will be up right now as you're let's do it right now. But it's so good to be back. Yes, again, not starting off the year with a special, a one-off. No, we're getting right back into what we do best, talk about NXT UK, the very best brand in the entire WWE map. But before we do, we got a little, not really an issue. It's a flattering issue, if anything, but our little, people have become accustomed to us doing questions now at the beginning of the episode. How are we going to handle that from now on? Because we've gotten quite a few.
Yeah. Yeah, we're gathering questions quite nicely. So instead of doing, our regular Q&A at the beginning of every episode, we're going to save them all up for a special at the end of each month. And, so we can give you and your questions more than, a minute, 2 minutes. We can delve into them. We can, do a deep dive if you like, but we can give you much more attention and, better quality answers, I think, if we do it like one big special. Yeah. So carry on sending us your questions. Drop them in the comment box below if you're on YouTube. If you're on any other site, there is a comment box. Can leave your questions in. If you can't find it, just go to the Podbean site and there's definitely one there. They'll come straight through to me. So, yeah, as many as you want, just keep sending them in, and we will answer them all, guaranteed, at the end of the month.
Hell yeah, and just use an example. We got a question like a month or two ago. How important were the cruiserweights during the Monday Night War? I felt like I was shortchanging the person that asked, because to answer that in 5 minutes, I could have gone for 40 minutes on that topic. So yeah, I totally agree. Don't want to sell you guys short. Want to answer your questions thoroughly. So look for that at the end of each month. Speaking of omnibuses, speaking of roundups, that's why we're here. December 2021, NXT UK going out in the year. I would say with a bang for the exclusive content we got on the roundup today. Now, 2 of these shows were best ofs, flat out, pretty much.
Yeah, we're not reviewing them. We're just reviewing the proper episodes, the proper wrestling episodes that carry the company and storylines forward into 2022. You say go out with a bang. I felt it with a bit of a whimper. I'm going to be completely honest, but as usual, there is a format to these episodes for new listeners, who might not have found the old NXT UK reviews yet on YouTube. Do go to the Hibiki TMD YouTube site. It is linked on our Podbean. Uh, you know, we'll go through them episode by episode, but we're not going to do it all. We're just going to do either the best or the most notable bits. Otherwise, we'll be here all night.
I guess the reason I say with a bang is because we finally got like a 2 or 3 year payoff to a story with Mustache Mountain finally winning those tag belts, and it was a great feel good story. I kind of agree though. Everything else seemed a little eh. I mean, we had some bright spots here. There, we're gonna get to it though. If you're ready, Matt, by all means, let's dive right in.
Okay, so we're going to start on December the 2nd, and we're going to start with Meiko Satomura versus Zai Brookside for the NXT UK Women's Championship. Now, nothing special about this match from me, but Travis, I've waited a month and a half to find out and get your reaction on Zai Brookside. Please, the floor's yours.
Well, before I totally get out, the chopping block, I do want to say, and you're going to hear this a lot, and I feel like they have heard this a lot when we've talked about this brand. One of the best kept secrets in this company is Meiko Satomura. From her theme music to the final boss persona to the work, she's amazing, and it's a crying shame that that she's not more prominently featured and more eyes aren't on her. She looked frustrated as hell during this match. And I felt frustrated as hell because it's not like this is year one, Zaya Brooks. How long has Zaya Brookside been doing this now, Matt?
Zaya Brookside has been wrestling since, I think, about 2015, but she's been on the NXT UK roster since 2018.
And on top of that, not just the length of service, but when the pandemic hit, that gave these people more time to hone their craft and just to train and train and work and work. She right now, from what I saw in this match, and this is a low blow, trust me, because I can't stand the woman and I think it's a shame that she's on national television. She worked this match on the lines of a Jade Cargill. Sloppy, looked confused, fucking lost. Basic spots just not executed at all. Some of this, we make the expression, this looked like I was watching wrestling school drills. This looked like I was watching Tough Enough tryout videos at some point. This was rough. And this was really shocking, especially considering who her father is, the lineage, the DNA that she has to be a professional wrestler. When you see someone like a Charlotte and people like that, wow, this is how far you've progressed. Was it fucking nerves? There were 50 people in that audience, if that. I don't know what happened here. Maybe it could have been and it's easy for us to say. We get it. I don't want to start off the year like this elitist fucking prick. I've never gone to wrestling school. Matt's hasn't either. We don't know how to work a match. But we have eyes. And as a consumer, we have a right to bitch. I get so sick of people saying, well, if you've never done it, don't complain. Well, then those people should ever critique a shitty movie again, a bad sports team, a shitty music album. That's what you do. Because it's our right as a consumer to complain if we're not getting a product up to our standards, and that's exactly what we didn't get here. Meiko Satomura with the win, as she should. Woof. Woof.
Woof. Woof indeed. And honestly, I didn't even pick this for the match. I picked this for your reaction alone to Zaya Brookside and her new character. I think, with the second month into this new character, Travis, what is she even doing? It's just whiny bullshit, spoiled little brat, and she doesn't even carry it off well. And honestly, this match and the last 2 months with Zaya Brookside, if it's shown me anything, it's that she's probably just given up now. Character's awful. In-ring is it's took such a nosedive. It's an actual tragedy now. There's just nothing about Zaya Brookside that makes me want to watch her anymore.
WWE has this fascination of taking some of these characters that were essentially perfect babyface type characters. Now, there are exceptions when they make them turn and it works, a la Bayley. She totally has made that work. In my opinion, you could disagree. I don't think she's never going to set my world on fire on the mic, but Bayley's done a good job making that transition. They've done this with Dakota Kai, and now they've done it with Zaya Brookside. There was nothing wrong with either one of those women in those wholesome, girl next door fucking roles. The problem is this company has long since forgotten to book a baby face, and that kind of baby face.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. And that we just saw that on Monday Night Raw last night. Nikki Ash was the heel and turned on the giant Rhea Ripley. Oh no! How should God? And I feel like we should bring it up because she's alumni NXT UK. This badass huge woman
Yeah.
who could be this perfect tweener getting destroyed by this joke character. I'm gonna take her seriously now. And we've seen this. It's not like they're breaking ground with Xia Brookside's character she's doing. This is just a carbon copy every fucking time they do this. Now it's the same type of character, and it's at this point it's so cookie cutter and repetitive. It's beyond not interesting. It's go away heat when I see a character like this. I hate it.
That's exactly what I said when on the last review is go away heat, and I feel cheated really with Xia Brookside because we sat here, what, 3 months ago, 4 months ago maybe, when she said, "Oh, I'm leaving. I need a different character, etc., etc." And we said, like, there's so many things she could do. She could dye her hair. She could change the way she dresses, the way she wrestles. Give us a new attitude you can get behind that would revitalize a career. And she basically comes back with exactly the same look 2 weeks after she left, and this is it.
I will correct you though. She did dye her hair a lighter shade of purple.
A lighter shade. Fuck. Oh, stop it! Stop it! Just fucking.
I feel, and I knew this is what we were kicking off the new year with because I knew the format, and I was trying my best as a host to get us, oh yeah, new year, new episode, and I knew this was coming, and we're going to start with a whimper. So please, let's move the train along. Give our viewers better than this.
Oh, you say that, but next up I handpicked actually, because we didn't get a chance to talk about it last time. Christ. Charlie Dempsey, Rohan Raja, and Tiemann. So this is a video package where Rohan Raja takes Charlie Dempsey to the rooftop, just talks about gratitude, etc., etc. This wasn't great at all, but let's forget this, Travis. Charlie Dempsey aligning with Tiemann, Rohan Raja. People know what I think. Over to you.
For a second, I had to do a double take. I had to make sure I wasn't watching a straight to DVD WWE Films production. I see where that production crew's long since gone to now, because a lot of these segments, like with Gallus and this little war with this is just like watching a bad mafia movie. Where do I start?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if it's a trust issue, if they don't trust Charlie Dempsey to go out there on his own. But at the same time, and I hate to do this to the brand and in a kind of a way shit on the brand, but at this point, for as little as the machines put behind NXT UK, who the fuck cares? The show is basically developmental. Charlie Dempsey doesn't need this padded storyline. He's not going out there on SmackDown. You see what the kid's got.
Yeah. I mean, I can't disagree with you. For me, Tiemann and Rohan Raja are just cannon fodder anyway. They're trying to build him up into something they're not, by adding Charlie Dempsey to that, who, he's making waves more so than them two were. Yeah. That's getting some spotlight on them. But this is the wrong move for me. This is, taking everything that Charlie Dempsey is, all the interest he could have, and just going, I don't want to watch him if he's even around them two. If they're in the vicinity, then my finger will be on the fast forward button.
It's like somebody sat backstage and goes, hey, I know how to get Regal's kid over. Let's put him in a stable with two guys he has absolutely nothing in fucking common with. That'll work.
Exactly. Just like, you know what? They teased another member of the family, and it's like, you just now you're doing an NWO. You're just adding people for the sake of it. They've got nothing in common. They've never ever had anything to do with each other on television, and now it's definitely looking like you're just throwing people together for the sake of it.
The entire thing for me has been generic. The whole feud with Gallus. La Familia is another old WWE stable name. Hello, Chavo Guerrero and Edge. I mean, Jesus Christ, they're not even trying. And when I see, and this might be nitpicky to
Oh God.
people, but it's our show. Fuck it. If it's bothering me, I'm gonna say it. The name, I don't care if he used it on the NDs or whatever, but the name Tiananmen Square, whatever the fuck his name, that needs to change. We need to work on that name.
Yeah, it's I don't know. There's no thought behind it. But then again, you look at him as a character and as a wrestler, and he's just
So bland.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
bland.
just Ashton Smith.
That's what I was looking for. Oh, Jesus Christ. Should we move on from
Yes.
Tierman and that? But so, next up, I wanted to discuss with you. There was a segment on the December the 2nd episode. I don't even know why we bother with this because it annoys me. Millie. I'm going to call her Millie McKenzie because I still can't get over calling her Amelia McKenzie.
Yeah.
Was with Mako Satomura backstage, and Blair Davenport just comes into shot, and she confronts both of them and says to Millie McKenzie the most generic line and delivery I've ever heard. What are you going to do when your mentor goes away? And Millie McKenzie just looks at her and goes, "Oh, I'll be fine." And she goes, "Well, why don't you step into the ring with me?" And she replies, "Okay." What the fuck?
Yeah.
What happened to drama and storyline? And just, I mean, it goes back to like no effort again, but this was terrible, Travis. And for two people, I'll say two people, I don't consider Blair Davenport that brilliant. But, you know, Millie McKenzie's a great talent, and you're doing this to her? What?
It's just, standard WWE. This reminds me of that awful Aaliyah backstage promo on SmackDown a couple weeks ago when she just rushed through the entire thing. She kept looking down at her lines, no emotion, like a drone. They just make these people memorize shit so much that it takes all organic belief out of it completely. That's what this is. Whatever the fuck you want to call her, B. Priestley, Blair Davenport, she should know better. She's world traveled. She is a veteran. She does nothing for me. She never has done anything for me. I watched this. Okay, no. I'm going to pull the curtain back a little bit. I watched this episode specifically with my fiance when I was like, hey, I'm going to check this out for the show to review. You want to watch? She was like, sure. She's the epitome of a casual. She's more than a casual, right? She saw this woman on TV and she was just disgusted. She was like, why is this woman on my TV? She doesn't look athletic. She's sloppy. And this is someone who never watches asking me this about Blair Davenport, obviously.
Yeah.
I don't get it. And I don't get the pairing of Millie McKenzie and Mako. I think that was obviously just thrown together because they're baby faces. Amelia McKenzie. Yeah, let's make it harder for the casuals to learn and pronounce, I guess. Let's expand her name. What? That makes no sense. And Millie McKenzie, it's a great little cute fucking name. It rolls off the tongue. It's whatever. It's good. This match is boring. This match, again, just I expect more at this point, especially from these talent and this brand specifically, like I said earlier, with just the amount of time they have to train and practice and hone their craft. It just blows my mind when they go out there and some of these women, quite frankly, all due respect, they're gassed up in 2 fucking minutes. Blair Davenport.
Yeah, I can't disagree with you. And can I just say on Millie McKenzie, it's like they've dropped the ball with her, not, 4 months, 5 months into her being there. Where she was one of, if people have forgotten, cast your mind back to 2018, she was one of the participants, whatever you want to call it, in the inaugural NXT UK Women's Championship tournament. And she had a couple of tag matches on NXT UK outside of that. And the fans ate it up. They loved her, obviously, because they knew her from the indies. They knew her relationship with Pete Dunne.
Yeah, I was just about to say, she was doing shit with Pete Dunne, and she was blowing up because of that. And people loved her. And now look at the reaction she gets.
She was tag team champions with Pete Dunne, and Pete, she was all over the internet, trending. And that first time she came into NXT UK, she came in on a wave of momentum, and people loved it. She went away, obviously, because of the Travis Banks stuff and the speaking out movement. She wouldn't accept a contract. Yeah. He went, she came in, and it's like, should we ride that momentum again? Do we use the Pete Dunne stuff to get her over and really push it? No, let's make her a lackey for a Japanese legend. let's job her out to Blair Davenport. I think Millie McKenzie lost her third match, and it wasn't even anything good.
Yep.
You know, they've dropped the ball with her so much, and I don't see her going anywhere, which is a shame because she could have come in with all that momentum, took the title from Kaylee Ray, and, off we go to the moon.
Stevie Wonder could have seen that angle. That's exactly what I would have done too when Kaylee Ray was still there. Well, speaking of Kaylee Ray, I don't know if you remember the specific line. Maybe you can help me out. It was a couple years ago, and it was like the debut of Kaylee Ray on NXT UK. And how did you describe her as like the crazy chick at the pub or something? Remember that?
Oh, like a council estate hooker, I think, something like that. Yeah.
What? So new year, new episode, new reign on all these new streaming services. How do you describe, Matt, in a nutshell, Blair Davenport's face?
Okay, I wasn't expecting this question.
We can move on. You don't have to answer it.
I mean, I don't know how to describe her face exactly, but I know what it does to me, and yeah, what is wrong with it? I don't know. She looks like she's had her jaw displaced, and she's got that shit-smelling look on her face, and it really annoys me, and it turns me off of watching her. I saw Blair Davenport / Bea Priestley 2-3 years ago might have been longer, on the rebooted pilot for World of Sport over here. It only lasted like a season. And she didn't look like that. I swear, she didn't look that bad. But now she just looks like, I don't want to say an unattractive moose because, in the world of sexism, etc., but I don't know. She looks physically disabled.
She doesn't look happy.
Say that and get away with it? Probably not.
She doesn't look happy. I will say that. She does not look like she looks like she'd rather be anywhere else than on that brand right now. You just see it. You can see it in the way her body language, her face, her promos. She's miserable. A lot of these people just come off as miserable right now. Xia Brookside seems, but beneath all of what she's trying to do, she just seems like she's going through the motions, like you said, and looks fucking miserable and defeated.
Yeah. Again, can't disagree with that. And if more cuts are coming this year, WrestleMania season, I see a good few NXT UK stars either requesting their release or just being cut and being happy with it because like you say, they're not happy.
I did mean to start the episode off with it. I will say in 2022 now, as much as we've covered this brand over almost 5 years and we love this brand, I'm more worried about NXT UK now than I've ever been, especially with the news last week of William Regal has been fired. What an unbelievable waste of talent that is to let William Regal go. 21 years. One of Triple H's very best friends. One of the most influential guys in that company. The entire reason people like Sasha Banks even made it is because William Regal verbatim put his job on the line. If she doesn't work out, fire me. He went to bat for all these people. You saw so many talents coming out on Twitter last week. Outpouring, supportive, heartbroken. When is it? And at the same time, though, it gets frustrating. It's someone like a Becky Lynch saying how heartbroken she was for William. Then go to bat for him. Why don't these people? And these aren't like fucking Baron Corbins and people. These are main event people coming out with it. Then go to fucking bat for him, for God's sake. Anyone that I don't even know if William Regal would go to AEW flat out because I think he mentioned in his release statement how he's not going to trash WWE. They saved his life. I don't think he would compete. I really don't. I think he's that classy.
No, not do I. No, I think he's probably going to step away from the business now. Like, what else can he do? He's not going to wrestle again. So I think we've probably seen the last of William Regal for now. I saw something interesting. It didn't make the connection with me when it happened. But when William Regal and Road Dogg and all them were released, somebody actually put on Twitter, like, these are all the men that stood like behind Triple H's version of NXT and the men he wanted to bring up to the main roster. When he finally took over, and it's like someone's trying to sabotage him. I don't know, but as far as William Regal goes, is cornerstone of NXT UK. He was, half the reason, along with Triple H, that the inaugural tournament ever happened in 2017. He was a big backer of getting the brand off the ground. And it's a shame, such a shame that a British legend like that has just been kicked to the curb. I think he will be back at some point, more than anyone else.
As an advisor, like Patterson would do over the years. After he would
yeah,
visit every month.
yeah. We've seen people come and go in them roles, like Patterson and Briscoe, etc. So I think he
I totally see that.
will be back at some point. But what a career! But if he's not, if this is it, then what a career and what a legacy to go out on.
Yeah, I just cannot picture him in AEW. I just cannot do it. I know a lot of people think he's going to wind up there, but guys, I don't know.
No.
I do not think. Another big one, Samoa Joe let go.
Yeah, I mean, I could see Joe coming a mile away. He hadn't been on NXT since August, maybe early September last year. I think if anyone was going to go, they were going to get rid of him because they had no. Look how NXT 2.0. I know we're getting off the point of NXT UK, but look how NXT.
It's all kind of one and the same, though.
Is...
Not to stop you for a second, it affects everything right now.
Yeah.
I will say I've never seen such.
Yeah, I mean,
I've never seen such a public, just blatant personal attack like I've seen, just eviscerating everything one person's tried to build. That's flat out what this is. Vince took it personal for losing to AEW.
Yeah.
It's 100% what it is. And I guess just to not get off topic, we'll get one more. We got to talk about it. The news of Walter now moving to NXT 2.0 or SmackDown.
God.
Good Lord. Good Lord. At this point, I say to any talent, just run. Unless your name's Roman Reigns or Brock Lesnar, just fucking run.
I have no hope for Walter on NXT. Like the first match, he lost. There's the writing on the wall there. I know people are going, well, he wasn't pinned, so what? It doesn't matter. You bring him in, you can't book him as anything other than a monster. Yeah, I don't know where he goes. I know he still doesn't want to move to America full time. So whether he's going to be sporadically on NXT or whether he's going to be like the oldest one there by the end, I don't know. I don't know where Walter's going, but I've got no hope, Travis. This is one of the questions that we're going to answer at the end of the month. But for men like Walter and Pete Dunne, I've got no hope of them going to a main roster spot. I've got no hope of them staying on NXT. It's just they're in limbo for me right now.
Look at Gallus.
If they go, Gallus aren't going to make it in NXT if they go up. They are stuck on NXT UK now until they either released or decide to walk away.
I could maybe picture Joe Coffey on SmackDown, but doing nothing prominent. I think Wolfgang and Mark are done. I think that glass ceiling's been hit. Yeah. I'm kind of glad we got off track because we only have, like we said earlier, 2 episodes to talk about this week because the 2 were just best of. So it was a nice little filler right there.
Well, again, while we're on the subject of releases, people may not know Joseph Connors. We were talking about this before we came on air. Quietly departed NXT UK at the beginning of December. I didn't know it was that quiet. I found out earlier today, as we record this. Best decision for him. The Ginny thing was the best thing he'd done. He wasn't going to go anywhere without it. So, wherever he goes, we wish you luck, Joseph.
It kind of reminded me when they put Steven Richards with Victoria. Yeah, it was the best thing they gave him to do. But when you take a gimmick like that, it's almost impossible to come back and being taken as a serious talent. When you're like this male slave or whatever, sidekick, comedy character. Do you think Joseph his release has been so uneventful, and we're probably the only 2 people in any podcast that are talking about this or will talk about it? You think when he asked and he left and all that, he kept checking in with his wife every 5 minutes? Are they talking about me yet? Oh, hey.
Yeah. The disappointment on his face when no one mentioned it, and
No,
he actively
Joseph,
had
they're
to
not.
he actively had to go on Twitter and post a graphic of I'm available for bookings, seminars, etc., just for
God.
people to realise. Oh, hang on a minute, are you not with NXT UK anymore?
Or the other
Oh,
50% of people going, who the fuck is Joseph Connors? Let's get back on track here, Matt.
exactly.
Where where did that take us to next?
That took us to the main event of December the 2nd, NXT UK Championship, Ilya Dragunov, Rampage Brown. I liked this match for the most part. It didn't go too long, but Travis, what was this ending?
Yeah,
And before we get onto that, if you didn't see it, people listening, Dragunov went to hit, and I think it was Enziguri. Brown looked like he got his hands up, and then he just fell to the mat, and the referee rang the bell because he wasn't able to continue. Now, the mistake they made for me here was showing a replay of it because you could clearly see Dragunov's foot didn't even touch Rampage Brown's head. It
yeah.
caught his hands. And I feel like they were hoping this was going to be a big, oh, Dragunov knocked him out. We can build that into a story for him to come back later and challenge, possibly on a
It
takeover.
was
Not
botched.
that we're going to get, yeah, not that we're going to get a takeover over here for a while because COVID is just destroying us. But I feel that was the intention, and it came off cheesy. And just, what did you think of this?
They didn't get one good camera shot of it either, because like on the next week's episode, they did like a recap of what happened. Even in the edited, like they
Yeah,
tried, but it just looked bad. I agree. I think it was a good match. I think we've just become accustomed to Ilya having these longer matches that are more times than not wars. It was a little lackluster on that front. I man, I don't know if I would even have done this match till the new year. I would have just built this a little longer. I still would have had the same result. I know they're going Jordan Devlin next.
yeah,
I mean, I think it was the right call as far as Rampage Brown, obviously a veteran, legend over there. It was a good move to transition to making Ilya have that kind of, I don't know why I pronounce his name like that, Ilya. to,
yeah.
to have that more like Walter-esque on the road to having that legacy. It was fine. The match was fine. I totally agree. The finish, though, was just botched and bad, and it's a shame they didn't. All the cameras they have in that company, they couldn't get one shot of it, so that sucks.
Exactly. And I'm not sure. I don't know because people aren't posting spoilers anymore. I don't know whether it was a legitimate having to call it on the spot because something went wrong with Page at some Rampage, I should say, at some point. But if it didn't, and if that was the planned finish, then why not just have him, I don't know, miss a charge into the ring post on the outside,
Yeah,
hit his head, and then he gets hit with Torpedo Moscow, and the ref has to stop it before Dragunov can get the pin.
exactly.
So I don't know what's happening there, but it was a terrible, terrible finish.
Let me ask you this. Where does Rampage Brown go next, Matt?
I have no
I
idea.
have no idea either.
Honestly,
I was hoping you had an
he's
idea.
he has pissed the bed in two title matches now. One against Walter at NXT UK Prelude, and this one against Dragunov. All right, albeit he didn't lose by pinfall or submission. The door is open, I think, to a second match with Dragunov. I think that's what they're hoping for. But he's going to lose that. Let's be honest. And then where does Rampage Brown go? Does he drop into the Heritage Cup picture?
That's what I was about.
I mean, it's a
I guess
possibility.
like the only thing I could see him inserted in right now with the heel isn't a heel who doesn't seem like a downgrade. Like if you put him out there with like an Eddie Dennis or somebody like that, it seems like a downgrade.
Yeah,
Is Shaw Samuels and Noam Dar? Put him in a little angle with them or something.
I
Just that's
agree
just because I
because,
fucking love Shaw Samuels though, so that's my bias.
and I think Shah Samuels and Noam Dar, as much as NXT UK have tried to paint them as the heels, I think the work they're doing, with the material they've got,
Yeah,
is turning them babyface against what the company want because I just want to cheer them. Who would have thought we'd have said this about Noam Dar in 2018?
it
I
goes
want to
back
see
to
more Noam Dar.
it goes back to it's all about the presentation and the package overall. Like, who would have thought? Who
Exactly.
would have thought in like late '98? Anyone? Because we just reviewed this last week. Go, God damn! I can't wait to see more Rockabilly and Jesse James. But put him with DX, and it's God. I can't wait to see the New Age Outlaws. You know.
There it is.
Um.
There it is. And for me, Noam Dar has that. You know, don't lambast us in the comments, but he's got that Eddie Guerrero charm. You know, where he can cheat to win, and you don't really care because it's fun, and you like it, and you'll go along with it. I'm not saying he's going to get to the level of Eddie Guerrero. I'm not saying he's going to get to the NXT UK Championship at any point, though. You know, he probably will after Dragunov or Devlin or whoever's going to take it next. But, you know, top work by Dar and Shah Samuels.
We'll see what they do with Rampage Brown this year. I'm not holding out any hope though.
Oh, no, me neither. Me neither. That took us, Travis, to December the 9th. And we're going to kick off with Jordan Devlin, who we've not seen for a while. And he comes out dressed, he's dapper, and he calls out Ilya Dragunov. And, you know, this could be
Turtleneck.
an NXT UK match of the year already. This could be a takeover main event. Not that we're going to get one anytime soon. But basically, this is Devlin challenging Dragunov for the title. And it gets personal. He brings his wife and kids into it. All ends in a big brawl. What do you think?
Very basic gist to the storyline, but that kind of storyline always works. It always pulls at emotional heartstrings. So, yeah, that's fine. Excuse me, I'm laughing. I got to be petty again. Why were these two guys dressed exactly alike? We got the Granny Loafers chant to Jordan Devlin from the crowd for Heel Heat, but here comes Ilya Dragunov wearing the exact same thing. Those chants went away fast. I mean, almost exact to a T. The white pants, the black shirt. It goes back to I was watching with my fiance who's a casual again. She even mentioned too. Why are these guys dressed like brothers?
You'd have thought someone would have caught that before they went through the curtain, wouldn't you?
What is it with the fascination? I'm serious with the socks, no socks, and the loafers with NXT UK talent from Pete Dunne.
I have no idea.
I got to throw Pete under the bus. He was kind of the trendsetter with that.
He was the first to come out with it, and everyone went, "Do you know what? It worked for him." No one said a word, so we'll copy. But it's almost like it's all they sell in the shops around the BT Sports studios because everyone you see. But
to get serious though, to be a professional and answer your question, I think they're finally. We'll get to it later, but I think the vignette they did with Devlin later was amazing. I fucking love. That's one of the best vignettes they've ever done on anybody, in my opinion. But I think they're finally doing now. The character and the build with Devlin is what they were going to do right before the pandemic hit 2 years ago. I think this was the plan all along, and then obviously shit got changed. He became Cruiserweight champion. He was all over the fucking place. But it's finally great to start seeing him booked how you and I have said he should be booked for like the past 2 or 3 years. So I'm all about it. He's not going to win. He's not going to beat Ilya Dragunov. I don't think he will. I don't think he'll win the first match. Now, if they carry this out through, like, maybe they could expand it to the summer. Maybe I could see him winning it in the summer, and then by late fall, Ilya wins it back.
Yeah. Yes, I was going to say something similar because, like, you know, like Rampage Brown, obviously Devlin's been on NXT UK longer. Where does he go if he loses this? Yeah, well, there's a question mark over where he goes if he wins it. But where does Jordan Devlin go if he loses this feud? He's done it all. I don't see them yet putting him on NXT 2.0, though, because he probably outclassed the majority of the roster on there. I don't know where Jordan Devlin is I can't even say the bloody word, an enigma now. Yes. That he's done everything underneath the title, and if you don't give him the title... what's left?
And I also fear if he ever went to the main roster, that Vince McMahon is absolutely 100% so petty that he would see Jordan Devlin and just see a cheaper version of Finn Balor, from the look to the accent to the pretty much everything. It's like Finn Balor's little brother is what I feel like Vince would book him like. Doesn't help that he trained him either.
No, as soon as he got wind of that, you know what would happen.
Oh yeah. No, I agree.
I think Jordan Devlin is a spectacular, and I don't mean this in a bad way, because in the ring he's everything in a bag of chips, but I think he's a spectacular waste of talent now. You know, he's got all this talent, and you're wasting it. And I think if you don't pay off, 2.5, nearly 3 years of storyline with him, and give him the title that, you know, presumably they were going to give him at Takeover Dublin before it got cancelled, then I just don't know. I don't know whether Jordan Devlin just has to quietly go away after this and, you know, go back to OTT and go back to the Indies, because I would rather see him do that than die a slow death on this roster.
We can kind of umbrella it in with this. We'll just do it one and the same. What did you think of the vignette they did for him on the next episode?
I didn't like it at all.
You didn't like it? Oh my gosh.
Do you know what? I don't know whether you got him over there. You know the Johnny Depp eau de toilette bollocks they do. You know, with him sat in the desert and the motorbikes pass, and he's sat on a rock with this, you know, this perfume for men.
But that's what they were going for, though. They were like parodying that because they're trying to make him this cringy heel.
I mean, I understand that, but I don't think that's what Jordan Devlin needs right now. If you're going to go long term with it, give him the title, make something of that character, fine. But it's not going to happen. And I just felt like he's gone from Irish ace, you know, I'll break your teeth, to smell me, I'm fucking amazing. What the fuck?
Smell me, I'm fucking amazing.
Oh God, what has become of these people?
I'll agree with what you said to an extent. I feel like if this is the only vignette we see at this, like, they shouldn't do any more. Now we need to see him in the ring every week kicking ass to coincide with this vignette. They don't know how to balance. They'll either go one way too much or the other way too much.
One thing I will say, I suppose, in defense of the vignette and the character, is if he does end up beating Ilya Dragunov, then it'll be a nice contrast from, you know, the bone-breaking Dragunov who will literally kill you to retain the title, to this, you know, combing his hair, spraying himself. Hello, ladies, Jordan Devlin.
Hello.
I think that'll be a nice contrast, but that's the only thing I can see that, any good will come out of this character.
That would be amazing if that was like his moniker now. Jordan, hello, ladies, Devlin.
Basically an Irish Rick Martel, let's be honest.
Where does that take us to next, Matt?
That takes us to NXT UK Tag Team Championship action. Pretty Deadly defending against Mustache Mountain.
Oh boy.
Now, I know people are probably going to expect me to say this was an amazing match. It wasn't that amazing, I'll be honest. The last 5 minutes, very, very good indeed. Rest of the match, I felt like they were holding something back, and I'm not sure whether it was storyline-wise, you know, to build something between Seven and Bate, because there was something before this match. Let me see. Yes, there was. When Mustache Mountain were getting ready to come out the curtain, and Tyler Bate walked away from Trent, there was a little look from Trent Seven, as if to say, if we don't win, I'm going to batter you into the canvas. So there was that. Yeah, and there were little looks throughout this match. But action-wise, Travis, I felt like had this been on a takeover stage, this would have been 6 stars. But in front of 50 people in a BT Sports studio, it didn't bring the best out of any team.
I feel like a lot of that, too, is they relied on Pretty Deadly to kind of work over, I think it was 7 in this match. And a lot of the spots were called by Pretty Deadly. Does that speak to their experience or just... I don't know, but I agree with that. I think this match could have been so much more. Here's one thing I'm going to kick the new year off with. By the end of this year, it is a goddamn shame that one of the most well-rounded professional wrestlers in this world, entire world, all companies, is never talked about in Tyler Bate. The last time I'm going to say it this week, it's all watching this with my fiance. Yes, I know it's getting tiresome, but I got to talk about this. She's never seen or heard of Tyler Bate before. As soon as she laid eyes on this man and how he worked, the character, it was a million questions. I put out a tweet about this. It was a million questions nonstop about Tyler Bate. The guy has it. More than, in my opinion, More than
Yeah.
any other talent they've ever had in NXT UK, Tyler Bate has the most potential to be a breakout mainstream star. More than Pete Dunne. There it is. More than Pete Dunne. The kid, women love him. Kids will think he's awesome because of his moveset. Guys think he's cool, the big strong boy shit. He's got everything. And the potential they're squandering year after year is disgusting with the money they're leaving on the table with Tyler Bate.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, obviously I'd never agree about the Pete Dunne bit, but if you put him on the main roster and strap the jetpack to his back, yeah, you've got a massive, massive star. You do it in NXT 2.0, all right. As much as we don't like the brand now, as much as we criticize it, he could bring legitimacy to that title that Bron Breakker won't. I don't know where Tyler Bate goes. Okay, how many times have we said this? And we're only like what
5
second NXT UK episode in. I think this is the beginning of a very long end for Tyler Bate. Tag team title wise, and we've been saying this for months, but I genuinely believe that they'll lose the titles in a few more weeks. I don't think they're going to have them for long at all because it builds the jealousy and the bitterness of Trent Seven. They lose the titles. Seven turns on Bate. Blood feud into the summer. Seven beats him in a loser leaves NXT UK match, and Tyler Bate goes off to pastures new. That would be the best end, in my opinion, for Tyler Bate.
And then you put Seven maybe into a program with Ilya, who just won his title back from Devlin, going into the new year next year.
Exactly, and if Dragunov hasn't lost the title to Devlin by then give it to Trent Seven, because that momentum and that story and the heat, that would bring fresh eyes, I think, to the NXT UK Championship. I've read today that all NXT 2.0 staff from creative will now report to Bruce Pritchard. Do I want to see Tyler Bate, under that regime? Not particularly. I don't know. I don't know what he does on NXT 2.0 if it's not in a main event picture, but I guess we're going to find out at some point, because Tyler Bate, and we've said this before, Travis, has outgrown NXT UK.
He has, but God, he was such a Triple H and William Regal prospect and guy that it's just, I see no future anywhere else in this company with him. It's like, and I hate to say it with Pete. Pete Dunne was such a Triple H and William Regal project. This entire brand has just, taken my morale. And just to see where we were when we started this whole show, Matt, and just see the corporate greed and just all these entities rear its ugly head into professional wrestling to this extent. This is unprecedented, guys. I don't know, and I know Twitter's unbearable. I know wrestling fans are unbearable on social media, but we're also seeing this catastrophic just mutilation of talent in this company, the likes of which we might never see another year like this again with that plethora of releases. It was insane. No. People are underestimating how insane 2021 was for the WWE company.
Oh yeah, they cut the throat of the talent roster just mercilessly. But I would like to see if Triple H does go to bat for Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate when they arrive on the main roster.
I mean, he went to bat for Samoa Joe when they released him under his nose, and then he got him hired back, and they fired him anyway. 6 months later, fired him twice, less than a year.
I mean, I don't think he's got any control over NXT anymore. Triple H, that's gone from him. But I would like to see if Pete Dunne is coming to the main roster. As terrifying as a prospect as that is, he'll be on SmackDown after the Royal Rumble. I've heard he's going to be in the Royal Rumble. It hadn't better be a fucking 2-minute thing either. But he'll be on SmackDown after. Well, it'd be the first week of February, wouldn't it? After the Rumble.
Just worked the dark match. You sent me the picture in DMs the other day with Ciampa.
Yeah, he worked the dark match with Ciampa. Ciampa won. They said it was, terrific match. I know I've put this out on Twitter earlier, and I think, the best way you could possibly handle Pete Dunne on SmackDown, have him take the title off of Nakamura at WrestleMania, the Intercontinental title, because you've killed that championship, so I've heard on SmackDown. He's not defended it for months and months. But
July,
have
I
him to
believe.
paint the sorry.
I believe it was July since he defended.
July? Fuck me. Okay, so he hasn't defended it since July. Have Pete Dunne take it off of him at WrestleMania, because that match, if you let them, take the chains off and let them go, that could be a spectacular 5-star classic. And then let Pete Dunne, rebuild the Intercontinental title, because he can do it if you allow him to do it. We saw what he did with NXT UK and the NXT UK Championship, the eyes he brought to it. I just don't trust the main roster to do anything with Pete Dunne, which is why I would like to now see Triple H stand up and go, hang on a minute, you've bastardized my entire project, 6-7 years worth of work. And that's 10 nearly, isn't it? Nearly 10 years worth of work.
Yep.
You've totally flushed it down the shitter. You're not going to do that with these two men.
I don't know how far
that.
out that voice would reach, though, at this point. When you throw in Nick Khan and all these other factors in the equation now. We don't know where Triple H sits at that table anymore. Is he at the little kids' table now while the adults eat Thanksgiving dinner? You don't know. Whatever this man did to piss off Vince McMahon, it's never been more evident than now.
No.
He not even maybe pissed off, just to make him lose faith, maybe I should say, and trust.
Because Vince McMahon has lost. I've never seen a bigger loss of faith than Vince McMahon's in Triple H. Like, just what he's done to NXT, what he's done to all Triple H's staff. Let's say that he was going to bring up to the main roster with him.
Yeah.
It's literally just cut that off and just let it die.
Do we see Triple H pull Shane McMahon from like a couple years ago where Shane said fuck this and just left on his own? He just couldn't take it. We'll see. I don't think they'd ever fire Triple H. He's married in, for God's sake.
Oh, he is married. I mean, there's some people on Twitter were going like, will we ever see Triple H just start up his own company? I mean, I'm never say never in professional wrestling. Like, look how AEW was caught on, and people didn't think that was possible. So let's, I'm not going to say yes. I'm not going to say no. Would I be surprised if Triple H just got up and went, I'm done? Not anymore.
No. It's very. How hard is it to surprise a wrestling fan in 2022 going into this year?
You'd have to go a long, long way. But getting back on track.
The
Travis,
outfits that Pretty Deadly wore in this match were the best outfits Pretty Deadly's ever wore. Got us back on track. Boom.
Agreed. Luminous yellow. They were a thing of beauty.
Laced.
Match-wise, like I said, wasn't great. Ending was very good. And finally, Mustache Mountain win the NXT UK Tag Team Championships. It's well-deserved. Let's not, and it obviously serves the story well. Tyler Bate being the Grand Slam champion, etc. I wasn't ready, though, Travis. I wasn't ready for Pretty Deadly to lose the titles just yet.
Yeah. I mean, we could possibly see them get them back. I feel like in that, there's the breakup.
I feel like, if Mustache Mountain are going to have a short run to serve the eventual heel turn, then, Pretty Deadly have to take the back, because there's no other team, on the NXT UK roster right now that will be feasible as champions. Maybe Dave Mastiff and Jack Stars for a very short term, good time feel, whatever you want to call it, but Pretty Deadly, I think, will be the first 2-time NXT UK Tag Team Champions, because they're just head and tails, Travis, above everyone else.
Now, I could, on the exact opposite of like a Pete Dunne or Tyler Bate, I could see Pretty Deadly fitting into NXT 2.0 100%. They have the youth, they have this model look to them. I think NXT 2.0 and them are kind of tailor-made for each other with this new facelift. Do I want to see him go? No. But
no. I think taking Pretty Deadly away right now would just murder the NXT UK Tag Team division. It's like that they are the main focus. You're right, Mustache Mountain are gonna, go on to do other things.
Yeah.
But no, don't Pretty Deadly have to be there for the foreseeable future for me.
They
At
have to be.
least, while you build three teams underneath them.
Especially with this fucking tournament coming up, and they're trying to make new teams seem on the level of, we'll see. We'll see what they do. The match, like we said, it wasn't bad. It was just a little lackluster. The ending was tremendous. The comeback, the Trent Seven kicking out of spilt milk, and all these maneuvers. You saw they really build up the old Lion's heart really well in this. I feel like it was classic storytelling, and obviously those 50 people in the BT Sports studio came unglued. It was good. It was good TV.
Yes, it was. It was, and I think obviously the implosion, etc., will be the outcome of this. But fingers crossed. Lastly, Travis, we are on to December the 16th, and there's not a lot from this at all. But I did want to talk about Joe Coffey and Charlie Dempsey. Now, we mentioned Charlie Dempsey at the beginning of the show. I was torn on this match. Like, I wanted to enjoy it so much. It's Joe Coffey. He's almost become like, what's the right phrase? Like the guardian of young talent. If you want to go further, you go through Joe Coffey. Rampage Brown did it.
Old reliable.
Old reliable. There you go. Rampage Brown, Jordan Devlin. Yeah, they've all gone through him in the past 9 months ish. Charlie Dempsey's turn. So from that standpoint, it was the right decision. They tore lumps out of each other in this match, but did it do anything for Charlie Dempsey for you? Because I left this match, which Charlie Dempsey won, by the way. I left this match just looking at Charlie Dempsey as if to say, if you hadn't have been with Tioman and Raja, this would have been massive for you.
Yeah. If he was a lone wolf right now, it would have meant so much more. I totally agree with that. I actually liked the match. It was fine. I felt like you, a piece was missing. I wanted to like it on another level. I feel like they're trying to make Charlie Dempsey their Bryan Danielson. I think that's 100% what they're doing, especially with him being the foreigner too over there.
Yeah.
Will he get there? We'll see. There's only one Bryan Danielson. I don't know. I like you. I think he's restrained by the association with La Familia.
Yeah.
It was another case of what are these guys really? I mean, yeah, the match can be good all day, but for this, the storyline is so lackluster. It's like, well, okay, more supremacy with two 3-man groups. All right. It's not like
exactly.
Now if they would introduce which they'll never do. If they introduce a trios title, maybe I have a little more investment. Not much. But I just don't care with anything doing with Gallus because they don't care about anything to do with Gallus. Gallus is just there.
Yeah, like we said earlier, Wolfgang and Mark Coffey, they're done once Gallus eventually splits, and I believe they will eventually split. I think Joe Coffey will stay around. He'll be Hacksaw Jim Duggan of the brand. But what could you possibly do now with Charlie Dempsey? Where obviously, this La Familia thing, they're going to beat Gallus in 6-man tag team action at some point, and then what? And this should be the title of this episode. Now what?
Yeah. They're gonna tag him up with Von Wagner in NXT.
Christ,
2 second-generation superstars.
Jesus Christ. I mean, what do you think? Charlie Dempsey, would Charlie Dempsey work for you as a top babyface if he turned on Tioman and Raja?
See, that's the thing. I haven't seen enough of Charlie Dempsey. You know what I mean? As a top babyface, no, we're not even close to being there yet. As a viable upper mid Carter, sure. On the level of an A kid, absolutely.
See, I could see Charlie Dempsey versus Noam Dar for the Heritage Cup Championship. I could see that in a feud that would eventually build Charlie Dempsey. But no, he's going to... I'm worried they're going to saddle him with Rohan Raja and Tioman for 6 months to a year. And then by the time he breaks from them, people are just going to be like, and what?
Plus, I mean, Run, Charlie, Run, I don't even know what to think now with his father being released. Because I feel like obviously his father working there was kind of his nod in the door. And it obviously got him the second look. It was like a favor. Who knows? It's so unpredictable. I'm not trying to sit on the fence, guys. It's just I just don't know. I don't want to flat out say he'll be jobless in a year, but my heart tells me that Pete Dunne won't be here next year. That Charlie Dempsey won't. That so many of these guys are just not going to be here. You know, that's just what I got to go with my instinct.
Well, after the year we've seen, it's easy to jump to that conclusion. That
Well,
Pete
not even
Dunne will
that.
be.
The 5 years of putting this brand, which is still the best brand in the entire company, on not even a back burner. Whatever the expression is for something that's worse than being put on the back burner, that's what they've done to this show.
Yeah,
You know?
I can't disagree with that either. Just last but not least, Travis, A-Kid, Nathan Frazier. What did you think? Because I thought this was criminally short. I think they could have filled the entire 6 rounds and at least made Nathan Frazier look like a contender, especially with him now, next week or this week as we record this, giving Walter his quote-unquote last stand.
Well, it was shockingly short to me, actually. Considering the build-up video they played for this, like, the week before, to get you ready for that. It was a really good video.
And then this. What? All I can say is poor Nathan Frazier. He came in, again, like Millie McKenzie, wave of momentum. There was all this, free agent. He's been on AEW. He set the world on fire. Where's he going to go next? Oh, my God, he's signed with NXT UK. Comes in, first match, loses to Jordan Devlin. All right, it was a great match.
And then it's cut your hair. Looks like shit.
Yeah, cut your hair, change your name, change your trunks, change everything about you, and systematically lose to Noam Dar, lose to him, and just probably, die a death on this roster? Because I don't want to be pessimistic, and I don't want to end this on a pessimistic note, but Nathan Frazier, all the talent in the world, not going anywhere.
No, at this point, he's lucky to get Heath Slater status with his one-man band gimmick.
Christ almighty.
Yeah, I think he's like the wrestling equivalent to Samson. And when he cut his hair, he lost all his buzz.
Yeah. And you know what's worst thing to come out of this for me is that we have to sit through Noam Dar and A-Kid again. We've seen that match 3 times in the last 9 months.
Yeah. Enough is enough. This is the NXT UK's version of the Usos versus the New Day for me. Enough.
Yeah. And I don't even think it's going to end here. I think Noam Dar will probably cheat A-Kid out of it, and they're going to make a feud, 6 months, whatever storyline out of this, because there's nothing else for Noam Dar right now. The Sam Gradwell thing has petered out. I was hoping for more Sam Gradwell, Noam Dar. I think that's run its course, unfortunately. But you can't keep pushing A-Kid into this, this number 1 contenders spot, because I think it's killing his momentum and his heat. And I just think against Noam Dar, anyone right now is going to be lucky to be cheered.
So that we're at the end of the road, correct? You said
we are. At the
so
end
we're
of the
not
road,
going to mention. I'm shocked that you didn't write this down on the format, Matt. After 5 years of doing this, my guy, it took 5 years, but Saxon Huxley got a huge win, and we're not going to cover it. Are you kidding me?
Oh, Jesus Christ! I mean, I purposely left it out because it just left me feeling sick. But if you want,
you gotta come clean a little bit. He's improved. He's got an intensity to him about him now, and the fans there, they got behind him. He's like this lovable loser. Muscle cat.
Look, cut the berserker bullshit out of that, and I'll get behind him. But while he's stomping around the ring, hussing, and wearing berserker-style trunks and boots, I can't take him seriously in 2022.
There it is. There's the reaction I wanted to milk out of you. Thank God. Besides that, the only other thing I had written down was that Mustache Mountain promo in ring, the little celebration, and it just went a little long for me, I guess. It was fine, but it was just, all right, Jesus Christ, Trent Seven, wrap it the fuck up. We get it. What now?
Yeah, I mean,
what if you lose it? Oh, Jesus.
I mean, obviously, they're basing the the loss and the heel turn.
Yeah.
And do you know what? People are going to listen to this show in a year if Mustache Mountain are still together and go, "You promised us a heel turn. What the fuck are you talking about?" But it's coming, Travis. I'm 99.9% certain. Did that sound convincing at all?
Eh.
That's how we're ending this week's episode.
The only
ladies and
thing
gentlemen.
I'm going to promise is that we will be back next month for a January Omnibus. But before we do, Matt, one more time, what do you grade the month of December, rounding all up, Omnibus, NXT UK? What do you grade?
Oh, it was rough. Honestly, I expected more. I was disappointed, so I'm going to give it a D.
Yeah. See, if I started the podcast episode out this week on, hey guys, we have a really kind of lackluster, shitty month to review for you, it wouldn't have drawn them in. So that's why I said go out with a bang.
Oh, God. It's got to be a D. All right, like, Mustache Mountain finally winning the titles was massive, but felt not as massive as it should have done in front of a packed out, ballroom in Blackpool. Let's be honest, if they'd have won the titles in Blackpool in front of a packed out takeover audience, it would have took the roof off the place.
Just like when they beat Undisputed Era.
Exactly. If, in front of 50 people in a small studio, it's slightly less, not less important. Historically, it's very important for the brand. It's just slightly less impressive, shall we say?
Yeah. I cannot argue any of that at all. I'm gonna give it a C- just because I feel like it's not fair to give it a D just based on the payoff we finally got with that title win. We did see some decent matches like Ilya and Rampage, sans the finish. It's nothing on any of this really made me furious. Like I need to turn this off now or skip the segment. Besides like Blair Davenport or Xia Brookside, really.
Yeah, I mean, they're luckily not getting an F for that Jordan Devlin advert, but that's another argument for another day.
Love those vignettes. Loved it. I'll stand by it. I'm going to try my hand at it for the first time this year. Now, before we get out of here, check us out. Start at Podbean. unionsmack.podbean.com. All our other links, Spotify, Google, everything else we're on right there featured. Hit the little picture, the friendly little icons below for whatever your preferred streaming service is to catch us. As always, here YouTube, hit that red button down below. Subscribe. Hibiki, TMD, all the goodness, retro gaming, pro wrestling, heavy metal podcast, Terry Blaze bullshit, and brand new podcast debuting this month, The Horrors of Hibiki, rounding up everything classic horror movie reviews. Matt, one more time before we get out of here, my friend. It's good to kick off the new year with you. Where can everyone check you and all that you do?
Same, Travis, as always. You can catch me on Twitter at BruiserMate. Go to unionsmack.bigcartel.com for all your Hibiki TMD merchandise needs. ProWrestlingTees.com/UnionSmack for your official Union Smack t-shirt. Lulu.com where you can purchase a copy of my books, I should say, The Undertaker, A Trip Down Death Valley, NXT UK Year 1, and I'm currently putting together the first little bits of the new King of the Ring book. No title yet, no format. I'm just collecting data right now, but that is coming. Fingers crossed by the end of 2020. All them links are on the Podbean page. You can access everything about us. I shouldn't say about us, should I? You can access everything from us via the Podbean page. All links available. And next week, Travis, we'll be back with In Your House, A Cold Day in Hell.
Oh boy.
That sums it up right there. We don't need a review, do we, really?
Oh, man.
Oh, God.
As always, once again, thank you, my friend, for joining us. And thank all of you for all your questions and checking us out now. All these downloads, all these services. It's finally good to be branching out. Until next week, to you guys, Happy New Year and cheerio, mates.